Caught me mid sip. How are you, everyone? Hope you all got a bloody cup of tea or a cup of coffee in your hands. Well, it's a bit bright, isn't it? Hang on. Bit bright. How are you? Hope you're all well. Hang on. Chair's only just got bloody chair regassed. It's starting to go again on it. Bloody hell. Hope you're all the usual. Nathan was first on this morning, everyone. Nathan Schilling. How are you, Nathan? Lynn Rogers is down there in bloody near Ingham. Who else we got? Marky Lavelle. G'day, Mark. How are you? Marky's buddy. We'll talk about footy soon, mate. Our teams didn't go real well on the weekend, did they? They can't play 80 minutes of football. I know. I've got to turn the light on. Hang on. That's a bit better. I think that's a bit better. Harvey Dog run around. Timmy Ryan, Susie Ellum. Logan, how are you, mate? Hope you're all good. Brendan Milner. Jimmy Nauman. How are you, Jim? Diane. Guess what, Diane? I made another pumpkin and cheese damper yesterday, just in the oven, and it's out there. I think Roz might take some over for a mum. I'm hooked on those things. That pumpkin and cheese damper. The clip's out now, everyone, if you haven't watched it. Diane sent me the recipe, and all it is 3 cups of self-raising flour, a big can of creamy pumpkin soup, a pinch of salt, and a handful of grated cheese. Whack it up. Don't knead it too much. Into the camp oven or your oven, and pumpkin and cheese damper. And you can have it just with butter on it or Vegemite, whatever. But you can also, it's good. I thought, it'll be a savoury one, but you can have it with golden syrup as well. So you can use it for savoury or sweet. So you can put jam on it, bloody golden syrup. It's really, really nice. It's just not real pumpkin-y flavoured. It just gives it a nice orange look. Looks like a big one of Flo Bielke's big pumpkin scones. Landy, g'day, mate. How are you? Hope you're good. Yep, it is. It's a fantastic. And I'm going to do another one going up camping next week, guys, with Russ and the boys up to Princess Charlotte Bay. And I'm going to be doing a big pumpkin and cheese damper up there. So Steve's on from Soar Adventures. Steve did put a video out recently, guys. Was it 6 years, Steve, or something? No, it's got to be longer than that. Just some of the memories and that going back to when he had the old dot trailer and using Pitt Brothers charcoal and still had Ellie Mae the dog and all that. It's good looking back. And you think, wow, it doesn't seem long ago, but it was when we were all going around in dot trailers and still using drifter gear and all that. We've all progressed on to other stuff now. Our camping ways have changed and all that type of stuff. But that's where it all started back then. It was good. Well, it didn't start off. I was camping in little 2-man tents and that, I guess, with the kids when I was still in the army. But when I got serious about into camping and all that. And I was thinking the other day, who got me into really doing what I do now? It's probably Ruthie. I have to go back to Ruthie, watching Ruthie and Graham Cahill on the old 4-wheel drive action days when you used to get the DVD. Every month the magazine would come out and it'd have a DVD in it. That's what got me really into this thing. Always went camping before that, don't get me wrong, but Ruthie was, I don't know, he had a lot. We'll talk about that a bit later, when we get into the camping side of things. Timbo down under, chilly 3 degrees here in northern Victoria. Yeah, you can have that, mate. You can have that. Shorts T-shirt up here all year round, mate. We might put I think I've had a hoodie on one night this winter. One night I've put a hoodie on going, it's a little bit chilly. So, obviously, if you're out camping and that, but even out at O'Brien's Creek Campground, I don't think I put a jumper on out there from memory. You do get a little bit of a cold snap up here, and it gets below 20 every now and then. On a cold snap, we get below 20. If it ever gets below 10 at night, we start really feeling it up here. It's like Antarctica for us. Yeah. Nathan saying, Buck, same for me. Ruthie was how I learnt how to four-wheel drive and got into the lifestyle. Yeah, I know there was a lot of guys in the old days, Jack Absalom, the Bush Tucker man, who I was watching a bit of him the other day, Les Hiddens, ex-army officer, the Bush Tucker man, the Leyland brothers, all those guys, Malcolm Douglas, of course. Paul Malcolm's gone now. What an amazing, I love watching him every now and then going back, and he was just a real old bushy Malcolm. Boy, oh boy, he knew his stuff. I wish I knew half the stuff Malcolm knew, and used to love watching him cook dampers and bread and all that, and he'd just throw a damper straight in the coals, no camp oven and that, just straight in the coals with her, dust her off when she came out. I might try doing a damper that way, actually, and covering it in coals. So I've never done it that way before. Malcolm was the greatest. Yeah, Mark, I agree, mate. But in the modern era, I think Ruthie's got to take a bow there, hadn't he? Ruthie, unbelievable what he used to do on four-wheel drive action. I've got an itchy nose. And Graham Cahill too. I used to love watching Graham. I've gone away from it now and four-wheel drive. Bobby Asser's on. G'day, Bob. Gone away from four-wheel drive 24/7, it's called now. Got a bit too commercial for me, same as All for Adventure. Used to love All for Adventure in the old days when he had the old 4.2 Nissan Patrol and it was Jason and Roddo. This was before Simon came on. It was just very, very raw back then. Now it's just all bloody sponsorship and all that. And we're all guilty of it, aren't we, in a way? You know, people saying, hey, here's a little Blue Eddy power station, give us a plug. And, you know, we all fall into that trap. But some of these guys make it a business and it just becomes a bit too much, I think. And you've got to be careful as a YouTuber, where the other day I was thinking, I copped a bit of flack over the blue. I knew I would because there's a lot of YouTubers out there doing power stations and all that. But tell you what, it's a good little, we'll talk about it soon too. It's went out and did a cook up with it the other day with Roz down at the beach. I'll tell you all about it. There's a film clip coming up soon, but it was nice. There it is there in that little Blue Eddy's powering me light there at the moment. It's pulling. I was pulling 7 watts, that light there, Steve, if you're interested. It was pulling 7 watts there before, that little light, which is absolutely nothing. Jeff's on. Jeffrey Keane. Oh, he's talking to Lynn. Righto, beauty. I've got a poll up there, guys, and I'm not going to talk too much politics this morning, but did Albo achieve anything in China except for seeing a panda bear? Did he achieve anything? I don't think so. I don't think he achieved much. He's going on about clean steel for the Chinese by 2060. I will be dead by then, so I don't give a flying you know what about that. Albo wants China to have green, clean steel by 2060. I will be 95 years old if I'm still alive. I will not be around. I'll be in the bloody... My ashes will be sprinkled somewhere by then, well and truly. Lukey Alexander saying, I've just started to get back into Malcolm Douglas and really looking forward to Fire to Fork's upcoming tribute series. Oh, I haven't been watching Harry. I'll tell you what, I was going to mention this before. I don't watch Harry anymore, guys, but it did come up in my feeds yesterday, and I want to say something here because it is important. This one's quite sad, actually. Bloody Harry from Fire to Fork, guys, just lost his dog, Fred. Fred was a big part of the channel, and you'd always saw Fred on Harry's channel on that. And Harry did a clip the other day, a bit of a tribute to Fred, and he was visibly upset over it, as you would be, losing your best mate. So I know I will be like that when, where is he? That fella goes. He's 13 now, and it's starting to go, he's 13, you know what I mean? He's had his best life so far, Rafa. I hope he goes a bit longer for me. little dogs can live a lot longer than the big dogs. But Fred had bone cancer, and Harry, he was living in pain and that, and Harry and his wife and the family had to put him down. So very sad for Harry getting his best mate put down. It was bloody, it's a horrible thing. A lot of us have probably all had to do it, guys, had to put our best mates down. I know my previous dog, Kobe, we had to get him put down. He was a golden retriever, beautiful dog. And I was a mess when we had to put him down. I went straight to the bottle shop, got a bottle of Bundy, sat down the back of the house and bawled my eyes out all afternoon drinking rum. That's how I dealt with it. And I say good day to him every day. I go into the shed. Then Zebby's buried out in the backyard too, Zebby the cat. So I always remember. And Steve's Ellie Mae dog there. He's got Winnie and Jasper now. But as Steve said, you never forget your best friends. And Ellie Mae was a wonderful dog. And she travels in the caravan with Steve and Annie and still goes on all the adventures. And as Steve said, she's allowed into the national parks now. They got her ashes in the caravan, which is a good touch, isn't it? Yeah, I shouldn't say there was probably something we'll do with Rafa too, mate, and take him. He'll still continue to go everywhere with us. So, yeah, condolences to Harry and the family on losing Fred. He was a beautiful big dog. And bloody bone cancer of all things. So anyway, Pete McMurtry, put down your best mate is one of the hardest. Yeah, I know it is, mate. I know. They don't live long enough. And as Steve said, I still remember this, Steve. Steve said they don't live very long compared to us. And it's our job to give them the best possible life. And that's why I'm so passionate with animal shelters, guys. Some poor bloody... I sit there and look at Rafa last night. I was on YouTube. Roz went out with the sisters, and Rafa's just lying on the bed, having a sleep on her bed. And you think he's got it good compared to some animals who just bloody get shit cards dealt to them. But anyway, that's why I love helping animals out, everyone. And we went up to Mariba the other day and gave Jennifer up there, who runs the Mariba Animal Shelter, $630 something worth of pet food. So it was good. Lost both dogs this year now. Yard is less now for the first. Yeah, there you go, Lukey. Bloody terrible, isn't it, mate? They leave a big hole in your life when you lose your pets. Yeah, so, and anyone who's got a pet, you know how attached you get to them. Even when Zebby got bloody run over, it's bloody heartbreaking out there digging his grave and made a little cross for him and all that. You get attached to them. They become part of the family. Aussie, yes. Happy birthday. And there's a few other people too. Happy birthday today, everyone, the 20th of July, to the diddly donk from Yorkshire, Dave Langan. For those who came to the Harvey Bay event, I know Jack and Mayo bloody know Dave. Dave's 60th today, guys. So let's give Dave a thumbs up, everyone. The diddly donk from Yorkshire. No one can understand him when he speaks. Although he's getting better. He's been in Australia for a while now. You can kind of half understand Dave. When he first got here, it was like, what are you talking, mate? Speak the King's English, for goodness sake. So, yeah, Dave's 60 today. Dave Langan, good mate of mine. We used to work together. And his wife, Celine, her birthday was yesterday, the 19th, and the day before that, we had a heap of people. And I'm going to forget someone here. It was Roz's birthday, guys. Greggy Campbell. Roz and Greg were born on the same day, the same year. And Slacken had a great birthday up in Canada. Slacken might be watching this, guys. I was talking to him last night. He was out at the trailer near the lake. They got a trailer or something up near the lake, and there's no reception. So he snuck into the closest town for a Tim Hortons coffee. Tim Hortons, the big coffee company up in Canada, and Slacken got a bit of reception, bit of Wi-Fi while he's having a coffee, and said good day and all that type of stuff. So Mark, he had a great birthday, and Mrs. Turtle, Marjolaine, guys, had her birthday as well. And there's someone else too. There was someone else. Oh my goodness. I'll think of it later. There was someone else who's in the Who was it? It might have been a workmate or something. But yeah, the 18th of July, there's a few birthdays on that. 18th of July, Celine on the 19th and Dave on the 20th. So, and anyone else who had a birthday recently, happy birthday, everyone. I had my 60th on the 5th. Yeah, Jennifer G saying happy birthday, Mrs. Turtle. So, Marjolaine, happy birthday to you for the other day. Roz had we went up the Tablelands, everyone, and we were going to do the animal shelter thing. Then we were going to go somewhere for a nice lunch somewhere up on the Tablelands. Well, it was Keen's show holiday, wasn't it? Everywhere's closed. Plus, we left our run a bit late. So it was after 2:00 by the time we got delivered the food and all that type of stuff. And then nothing was open for a feed. So Ross said, oh, let's just get KFC. I said, we're not getting bloody KFC for your birthday. So anyway, we didn't eat there. We dropped into Coffee Works at Mariba, which is worth a visit. All different coffees from around the world. We had a nice coffee there, but the food van was shut because of the show holiday. So we drove home and I went in the butcher, got a couple of big ribeyes on the bone, and I did some nice ribeyes in the air fryer. Guys, if you have not done a steak in the air fryer, give it a go. Don't knock it till you try it. They come out really good in the air fryer. They really do. I oversalted them, but I got a new salt shaker from Coles. It's one of the big ones, and it piffs the salt out really quick. And I oversalted. The steaks were too salty. I put too much salt on the damn thing. So, but tender. They were really tender. I'm having a good run with ribeyes from Coles. Usually, I'm a bit hit and miss with my local butcher with steak at the moment, and I've been getting it from Coles, and the Coles steaks, I hate to say this, is bloody nicer. You get those ribeye on the bones. They're about $20, but they're thick. They come with a little bit of garlic butter as well. So, yeah, everyone's saying happy birthday to everyone, which is good to see. Hey, let's get into some footy scores, everyone. I know you're probably not interested in this. Week 20 of the NRL. How bad is my team going? The Cowboys. Could not beat Eggs. Useless. The Dolphins. Roz was crowing on Thursday night, 43-24. When the Cowboys throw the ball around, they are an exciting football team. But they only do it for like 10 minutes of the game, and then they just go into their shell and are useless. They got some players in there that aren't NRL standard. Dolphins 43, Redcliffe, well, not Redcliffe, is it? It's just the Dolphins. 43, Cowboys 24. Sharks had a good win over the Roosters. I wouldn't have picked this one, guys. The Sharkies are coming good. Cronulla Sharks 31, Roosters 18. This team's going to be here at the end of the year again, guys. I knew they wouldn't stay down the bottom for long. Penrith Panthers 30, gave the Rabbitohs a touch-up. 10. And I didn't realise this. I thought, why are they called the Rabbitohs and not the Rabbits? And Marky Lavelle said, do you know what a Rabbitoh is? A Rabbitoh is a person who used to sell rabbits. So there was a big industry back in the day, especially Mum's hometown of Texas, everyone. There's an actual rabbit factory there, and they used to export all the meat and everything over to the UK back in the 30s. Rabbiting was a big business back in the day, and a Rabbitoh was someone who sold rabbits, apparently. Can you still buy rabbits at the butcher? Not up here, you can't, because there's no rabbits in Queensland. Well, rabbits are illegal in Queensland to keep as pets. Can you buy rabbits at the local butcher? As a kid, I probably wouldn't eat it now. I'm really fussy now, guys, with meat, and I'm real fussy with meat. I can't eat pork. Not keen on pork. Chicken I'm funny with. White meat, can't eat seafood. Yeah, I just like beef and a bit of lamb every now and then. A Rabbitoh, someone who sells rabbits. There you go. That's what a Rabbitoh is. It's not a rabbit. It's the person who probably, sells them, used to sell them for meat or whatever, apparently. This was a good game, but the Raiders ran away with it at the end, 40-16. Canberra Raiders over Parramatta Eels, Marky Lavelle's team, 40-16. The Eels were leading at half time, I think, on that one. I missed the first half. This was a good game. Russ, if you're watching, g'day, mate. Don't work too hard. Russ's Bulldogs, guys, 20, got up over the St. George Dragons, 18. Dragons had that until bloody, what's his name there, winger, come flying in at the last minute and lost the game for him. Stay on your wing, wingers. That's your position, on the wing. Stay out there. Stop coming in and creating a gap. And that's why wingers score all the time, because the other winger comes in and doesn't mark them. I don't know why they keep doing that, but they do, and that cost them the game. Yo!
Ergon. You know, they were supposed to do the job yesterday.
Yeah.
So they're going to come back probably in a couple of hours. Maybe.
Oh, are they?
Maybe an hour. I don't know.
Oh, I'm going to have to be quick, guys. Ergon's turning the power off, apparently.
Yeah, supposed to be yesterday, remember?
Bloody hell. If I was prepared, if I knew that, I could have had the home system, the system running off the shed. But I didn't know. It's too late now. I'm just going to have to. So if you lose me all of a sudden, Ergon's turned the power off. Dear, oh dear, but in an hour or so. So I'll have to haul ass. Russ is watching. G'day, Russ. How are you? And the Storm, yeah. No, Manly got up over the Storm last night. Manly got up over the Storm, 18-16. So there you go. That was an upset. Storm were at home too. Today's Tigers-Titans. Does anyone care about that game at all? And the Knights Warriors. Warriors need to win that one to stay in the top four. So, and last night, as expected, the British and Irish Lions beat the Wobblies 27-19. I thought the Lions might run away with it. I started watching the game, and when the Lions scored in about the first 5 minutes, I thought, this is going to be ugly. Anyway, the Wallabies hung in there, guys, 27-19. The British and Irish Lions, they're a good team, that one. Made up of the best from England, Scotland, Wales, and Ireland. So the British and Irish Lions, and they beat the Wallabies 27-19. So there you go. Bloody hell. Hey, here's a good one for you. Who's still got a drive-in theatre near them? There's one up at Mareeba. We drove past it the other day. Anyway, Roz's niece, Kiri, and her boyfriend, they've got a four-wheel drive with a rooftop tent. They went to the Mareeba drive-in the other night and camped in the rooftop tent after the movies were finished, just stayed there and slept in the rooftop tent. That's part of your entrance fee, is you can camp there for the night after the movies. So you go there, sit in the rooftop tent, watch the drive-in theatre, and then when everyone goes, you can just stay there and sleep in your tent. There's a toilet block and that there, obviously. Who remembers the drive-in theatres? They were good fun, weren't they? Drive-ins were bloody good fun. Anyway, what a good... And it's good to see that there's anyone got a drive-in around them. Past the old rabbit fact when we were travelling. Yeah, Susie. I went to do the tour through there, but it was closed. We just missed it. When was KFC made from rabbit? It could be, for all we know. Black Diamond 4x4. How about AFL scores? What is that, mate? What is that? AFL, that's the game where they run around in tight shorts and jump on each other's backs. Mate, I am not interested in that game one iota. I heard the other day that the Brisbane Lions are in the top two. That's about as much as I know about that game. I do not follow it whatsoever, mate. I just have never got into that game. I know the Vics won't want to hear that, and I'm not trying to be funny. I just don't follow the game, mate. I don't follow that or soccer or rugby union anymore. Since rugby union's not on free-to-air TV anymore, the Super 15s, I don't watch that either. I just was brought up with rugby league, mate. That's how it is in Queensland. Us and the cockroaches, we get brought up with rugby league, and you guys down south get brought up with Aussie rules, just the way it is. I don't follow the Aussie rules. I can't stand the game, to tell you the truth. I just can't handle it. It's too scrappy. I love watching the highlights of the big marks and all that type of stuff. But, yeah, another game where you miss and they still give you a point for trying, mate. They give you a point for participating in that game. Anyway, all the Vics will be throwing shit at their computer now. I love upsetting the Vics. No, don't get into it, mate. AFL's Victorian Ballet. Yeah, I know. Even back when I was at high school, we had Victorian kids coming up and starting to live in Queensland when it all started. And there was a lot of rivalry back then, and they come up here, and oh, the bloody rugby and all that. So piss off back down south if you want to watch that stupid game where you need 4 posts to kick it through instead of 2. Yeah, Toowoomba's a big rugby league. I used to play. I've had a couple of games. I used to play for Toowoomba Rugby Union for Toowoomba Rangers, 1989, 1990. Mainly played reserve grade, but I did crack it into the A grade there for the Toowoomba Rangers, the oldest rugby union team in Queensland. And Timmy Horan was an ex-Rangers boy. Timmy Horan, who played for the Wallabies, he was an ex-Toowoomba Rangers. I went over and had a few games of rugby league in Toowoomba as well, and played for Valleys Roosters, the black and red, the Valleys Roosters, Toowoomba Valleys. Don't know if they're still around. There was all whites and a lot of different teams there in Toowoomba. So yeah, played for Toowoomba Rangers, mate, in 1989, 1990. I was posted in the army at Kabbalah, mate, and a lot of the army boys, we went in and played for Rangers. The old red and white hoops, and there was some black in there too. I've still got, I should run in and grab it. It's hanging up in the cupboard, actually. Hey, Roz, I should go and grab it for you, Jeff, and show you. Roz, if you're watching, can you get my Rangers footy jersey out of the cupboard? I think it's hanging up. It's the red and white hooped rugby jersey that Flash gave me. So, yeah, so good memories there. And we were sponsored by Henna's, guys, which Jibber Henna, and his family owned a big sewing shop in Toowoomba. Henna's haberdashery or whatever that's called. Yeah, Jibber Henna, he played for Rangers with us, and his family, we had Henna's, was our sponsor on the front of our jerseys. Still going. I hope they are, mate, because don't quote me on this, I think Toowoomba Rangers are the oldest rugby union club in Queensland. So there you go. And Timmy Horan was a Rangers boy. Yeah, good memories there. Played there with my old mate Flash Ken, who's dead now, Flash, and Nicky Reese, and a lot of army boys. We went in and played with the Rangers. Good days. Long time ago now, but I was a bit fitter and a bit more agile back in those days. I was never a good rugby union player, guys. I used to just run around in the forwards, and bloody back in the days when you could stomp blokes if they were lying near the ball, you used to be able to run the boots over them. Give them a few tiger stripes down their back. They've taken that out of the game now. Lorna saying, no, that's all right. You know I love taking the piss out of Aussie rules. Who are the big two? I know the Brisbane Lions they had to win this weekend, and they were going to be in the top 2. So the Lions won it last year. I wouldn't know who the other big teams were in the Aussie rules. That's how much you don't hear about it up here, unless you go looking for it. Up here in North Queensland, we're just rugby league. It's just rugby league territory. We've got North Queensland Cowboys who are useless. I've never got into Aussie rules, mate. Sorry. Pete Burke saying NRL's the only game and the best game. Yeah, I like it. It's not as good as it used to be. Back in the 90s, rugby league was good, when Brett Mullins and Bradley Clyde, and they used to throw the ball around a lot more there. It's longest league grand final in history was Scone versus Denham. Here we go. Thanks, Roz. This is my old mate Flash Kent's. Thanks, Rozzy. This is my old mate Flash Kent's jersey, guys. And when Flash passed away, he was one of my best mates, Flash. Flash passed away many years ago on 11th of November, Remembrance Day. And Flash, he always said to me, he said, I've inherited a dodgy ticker from my mum and dad, and he did. And both Flash and his younger brother, Bo, are both dead now, and from heart complications, guys. Flash was never a smoker or anything. He just inherited a bad ticker. Anyway, a good army mate of mine, Flash. We did a lot of units together, played a lot of rugby together, and Julie gave me Flash's old Rangers jersey when he passed away. Julie said, Buck, I couldn't think of anyone better to give the jersey to. So there it is there, mate. That's our old Toowoomba Rangers. That was Flash's jersey, mate. I used to play in the second row beside Flash. I think I used to wear number 5 from memory. This is Flash's jersey, number 4. Toowoomba Rangers Rugby, Henna's. and Joe Bahena, I think was his name. He used to play with us in the team, and they were our sponsors. They were like a big sewing shop in Toowoomba from memory. They're probably still there, Jeff. There you go, the old Toowoomba Rangers, the oldest rugby club in Queensland. Back in the day where we used to wear long, made out of cotton, and used to wear long sleeves, and yeah, good old days, good old rugby days. Anyway, so we'll keep going through before I lose power, everyone. Hey, next Monday, heading up to Princess Charlotte Bay with Russ and the boys. Going to be a good camping trip. That they're going up on a big Barra expedition, everyone. I'm probably getting. Yeah, I already have Ash. I right at the start of the live feed, I gave Dave Langan a shout out for his 60th. Diddly Donk from Yorkshire, and I got everyone to give some thumbs up. So Russ and Ash at work watching at the moment. G'day, Ash. Hope you're well, mate. Another Diddly Donk from the UK, but he's not from Yorkshire. So yeah, Dave's 60 today, and Dave's sons, Dave and Celine's sons, have come up from down south to see them for both their birthdays. So, which is fantastic. So, yeah, I got everyone to give him a thumbs. A happy 60th at the start there. Yeah, so Russ, Jonesy, a heap of boys going on a big Barra expedition in a week's time, everyone, up to Princess Charlotte Bay up in Cape York. And we go up to Laura, and then we start going dirt road from Laura, I think, up to Princess Charlotte Bay. So, yeah, we're going to set up a camp there, and there's 3 tinnies going up. I'll probably go out for a fish at some stage, but I'm not going to go out on the big all-dayers and that. I might just go out for a couple of hours in the afternoon with Russell Jonesy and see if I can get a Barra. If I do get one, it'll be on film. You can guarantee that. So that'll be a good trip. It's only a 5-dayer. Long way to go to get up there. But once we're up there, it'll be good fun. We're just going to crank the fire up. Me and Jeff Pollard are going to be bloody chief fire stokers, and I'll just hang around the fire and do some dampers. And I think I'm cooking beef stroganoff one night, and we'll just be doing simple stuff like steak and sausages and all that type of stuff, because the boys will be out fishing all day. No doubt there'll probably be some barramundi wrapped in foil on the coals, because Jonesy can fish, guys. He's an ex-bloody, that was his job, fishing guide. So Jonesy does know his stuff. So there will be Barra caught up there, you can guarantee it. Jonesy knows his shit. Russ is a good fisherman too, everyone. Russ is very good as well. So Tane's a great fisherman as well. So there's some good fishermen going up there. Me and Jeff, we're just going up to bloody babysit the fire and watch the campsite, because when the boys are away fishing during the day, even though we're going to be fairly remote, we're going to have Starlink Mini and cars and power star. You don't want someone knocking it all off. Jonesy went up to Cape York once, guys, and they came back and the campsite was burnt to the ground, and they lost one of their cars, and they don't know if it was a bushfire went through or if someone intentionally started the fire, but they lost one of their 4-wheel drives on that camping trip. That was a few years ago now. So yeah, it's always good to have someone around the campsite. If you've got all that expensive gear, unfortunately, you can't trust people these days, can you? So you've got to, yeah, either me or Jeff, we'll hang around the campsite and make sure everything's safe while the boys are out fishing and that. But I'm sure we'll be able to go for a fish while we're there as well. So looking forward to that. Off-grid guys taking the RV5, the Oz tent, and a stretcher. So I'm going to be camping in the Oz tent there. So there's no caravan or anything. So, boys, I was going to take the swag, the King swag, but that's going to be me and Rafa and Roz will probably do a little overnighter up to Woodley Station or something and do the swag thing. But the RV5 is my accommodation of choice for this trip, which will be good. Now, speaking of Princess Charlotte Bay, Cyclone Mahina, I think it was called, in 1899, was the largest natural disaster to ever hit Australia. It was a Category 5 cyclone that passed over Princess Charlotte Bay, 1899, devastated the pearl industry. Roz's grandfather lost some boats during that cyclone, apparently. James Mills. Jonesy's on. Jonesy's probably watching as I speak. And don't worry, Jonesy, I'm going to the Coles soon, mate, to do some shopping, and I'm getting 2 tubs of Keen's curry powder, just for you. Jonesy, he said, I'm not going if there's any curry, but I refuse to eat curry, he reckons. He's a bit of a wimp that way. So, yeah, on the 4th and 5th of March, 1899, Cat 5, and there was between 300 and 400 people lost. A lot of Indigenous. Back in those days, no warning. When a cyclone was coming, there was no warning. They didn't have radars and all that. So, yeah, read up on that one. Princess Charlotte Bay Cyclone, 1899. It was a bad one. 13 metre, they reckon a 13 or 14 metre storm surge. And a lot of the Aboriginal people living up there were just swept out to sea in the storm surge. Bloody Jonesy's threatening to give me uppercuts by the looks. I just had an email come through and I saw the word uppercut in there. So I think if I bring any curry powder, I'm going to be bloody greeted with a flurry of uppercuts, he reckons. Oh, dear. Never seen a bloke sook so much about curry powder, because I was going to do a big coconut curry chicken, and I think Russ must have said, Buck's doing up a big coconut curry chicken in the camp oven one night. Well, Jonesy apparently just burst into tears and started sooking, started squeaking at work there, going, I'm not going if Buck brings the curry powder. So he sent me about 30 emails now going, no curry powder in anything. So I'm going to put it in the damper. I'm going to put it in his cornflakes. I'm going to put it everywhere. There's going to be curry powder everywhere, Jones, just for you. So, yeah, so Princess Charlotte Bay. What else have we got? Tasmania. Any pointy heads on? Where's Lukey Reid? So the Liberal Party has just won the Tasmanian election. Hopefully they can crack on with things now. Is Tasmania going to build that new Aussie? That's a big point. Speaking of Aussie rules, in a couple of years, there's supposed to be the Tasmanian Devils coming into the AFL, and the Aussie rules have said you're only coming in if you build a brand new stadium. A lot of Tasmanians are saying, we've got 2 stadiums already, one in Launceston, one in Hobart, that will do the job, but the AFL want them to build another MCG type thing. And Tasmanians, and rightly so, are saying, hang on, our hospitals are struggling and all this type of stuff. Let's prioritise our money instead of building an Aussie Rules stadium. So I don't know what's going to happen with that. Is there any Tasmanians on that can shine some light? Will that go ahead? I don't know. And you know what? If I was wouldn't they be better off just spending a little bit of money, maybe updating the 2 stadiums they've already got? I know the games will be in Hobart, but they might run one in Launceston at some stage. Bloody put a bit of money into those 2 stadiums, give them a bit of a facelift. Come on, do we need a big... You're not going to get 80,000 people to a game in Tasmania. So anyway, might get to the stage where the Tasmanian Premier says, well, we're not going to have an Aussie Rules team now. We're not spending $1 billion on a new stadium. We got better things to do with it, like hospitals and that. Curry powder and potato salad is great. Yeah, I know. But Jonesy cries, Nathan. As soon as you mention curry powder, Jonesy starts having a cry, and he can't do curry toothpaste. Yep. Big T. Watch out, Jonesy. Curry toothpaste. Now, there you go. Thanks, Big T. That's a bloody... We might have to squirt a bit of bloody curry powder into Jonesy's toothpaste. Wouldn't that be a good stitch up? Oh, dear. Oh, that's funny. So anyway, we'll see what happens down there. Someone said that I think they will build the stadium with cutbacks, not have a roof on it. Yeah, we'll see what happens, eh? What do you need a roof on a stadium for? There you go. There you go. It's a bloody game of football, and they want to put a roof on it so the players don't get their bloody permed hair wet. Typical Aussie rules for you. Gidgy Gorilla's on. Go, Gidge. How are you, mate? Hope you're well. Gidgy's been out and about in the Raptor this weekend. He went down to Rathdowney there, south of in Bow Desert Way. Beautiful little place. We went through there. Roz and I camped at the Queen Mary Falls Caravan Park at the Killarney Falls there, Queen Mary Falls, and we went for a drive down through Rathdowney and that. God, it's beautiful there. What do they call that? Gidgee, what's that part of the world called? They grow a heap of fruit and veggies and Mount Barney National Park. Yeah, what's that whole area called? Where Rathdowney and that is. I'll think of it in a minute. Scenic Rim. The Scenic Rim, that's it. Beautiful. Countryside down there. Absolutely stunning. South Queensland, just before you go over to the New South Wales border, guys, the Scenic Rim area. Just a beautiful part of the world down there. It really is. Tasmanian government messed up with the new Spirit of Tasmania ships. Yeah, I know. Apparently they're too big, and that was a massive stuff up, and some heads should roll for that one. Some heads should roll for that. Rathdowney pub is pretty cool with all the old stuff on the walls. There you go. If anyone knows his pubs, it's Nathan Schilling, guys. Nathan's been to just about every pub in Australia, I reckon. Gidgey, I'm sorting shirts and shit today. Someone must have asked him about some Gidgey gear. What else have I got here before we lose bloody... Oh, the Rafa books, guys. That was the last $600. So there's nothing left in the Rafa book funds. I don't know how much money we've given away. It's got to be $4,000, hasn't it? Easy. So all the money's been given away now. That was the last $600 we gave to the Mariba Animal Shelter. If you do want Rafa books, keep part. I've still got a heap there, guys. I've still got a couple of boxes of them there. So I've got plenty. I ordered too many. I haven't had a book order for about 2 weeks now. So if anyone out there still wants a Rafa book, bloody just send me a thing to the email. I've still got some ready to go there. I can't even spell my own name. There it is there. Can I pin that one? Pin message. There you go. If you know anyone who still wants a Rafa book, I've still got them available. End poll, 81% said Albo achieved nothing in China except see a panda bear. Yeah, I don't know. It's they're up him about. I think the Americans are sitting back going, "What is this bloke doing?" If I was a betting man, I reckon this AUKUS deal will be cancelled, guys. I reckon it's either going to get cancelled or they're going to put us in a corner where we have to commit to saying, if you want these submarines, you got to go all in with us. I got a funny feeling this AUKUS deal is going to get cancelled, which is probably going to be a good thing, the amount of money it's costing us, and we're not going to get them till the 2040s anyway. Anyway, Gidgey's he's here and then he's off to breakfast. Righto, mate. Catch you later. Yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised if that AUKUS deal gets bloody cancelled, everyone. And we don't have a plan B, let me tell you. Now, exciting thing. So Rafa books there, if you know anyone who wants a Rafa book. Oh, Mad Matt just took the BYD shark. I said, the day I see a BYD shark go across the Simpson Desert's the day I'll think of buying one. Well, Mad Matt just took his across there. And there's a lot of shit goes on in the background, but that they don't tell you about. Like, they had 2 support vehicles there. He went through to get across the Simo. They did about 600 kilometres because they had to do some side tracking and that because of the floods out there. 197 litres of petrol. So we had to basically carry a 244-gallon drum of ULP, equivalent in jerrys, in the back of so the whole back of the BYD shark was just full of jerrys to get him across. But it made it. But is there other things we didn't see behind the scenes? I don't know. The 200 series chewed 150 litres of diesel getting across. I don't know. That one thing he didn't mention much about, they did in the first episode. There was about 5 different episodes. Mad Matt 4-wheel drive. See, it seems like a really nice guy, Mad Matt. I've said g'day to him at bloody 4-wheel drive shows, but it didn't really explain much about the battery and how far they can drive. It was more of a show the Simpson there. It was a great show, don't get me wrong, but I would like to have seen them concentrate more on exactly how far they were getting and when they had to stop, or like they just didn't explain enough about how it worked for me. Anyway, so four-wheel drive action took one out there as well, and the general consensus was, nah, not yet. Not yet. Maybe down the track when they get better and whatever, but none of them, they all said BYD or a diesel ute, and they all said no, diesel every day of the week so far. So, but anyway, good on Mad. Maddie's the first one to get one across the Simpson Desert. I think there was a lot of support going on in the background for that vehicle. Something happened to it with its brakes early in the piece. That could happen. That could happen to any vehicle, guys. It had brake problems, so something broke and they had to clamp the brakes off or whatever. It was just one of those things. It was nothing to do with the actual bloody electric side of it. But they took it through water. It got up, when he put the tyres down, it got up big red, and it hasn't got a low range, remember? So he said the acceleration just is what got it up there, because they accelerate so quick. So, but they didn't explain enough about how the battery works and how far they could get, or did they have to go slower to let the battery charge up? I would like to know more about it. So still a lot of unknown things about. And the guy that was with him, Lucas someone, he runs the Springs four-wheel drive park, I think, and he took a Kia Tasman up Barra Clock Hill the other day and got it up there. A stock standard Kia Tasman. Got up Barra Clock Hill. He had to have a few go, got up there and got stuck with a few goes, but he got it up there, guys. And then he tried to take it up in reverse, and it nearly did it in reverse. The new Kia Tasman looked very capable out of the box. Don't know how they go towing and all that. They've only got a 2.3 litre turbo diesel, I think. But yeah, that Kia Tasman, straight up Barra Clock Hill, stock standard out of the box. I've seen some big modified cruisers and patrols and that not make it up that hill. So there you go. Phil Taylor's going for a bike ride. Speaking of which, another electric bike has just burst into flames and burnt three houses down or something. So if you've got those electric bikes, everyone, Steve Fuller, be careful when you're charging them, guys. They've got lithium batteries in there, and they are not the LifePo 4 batteries like we have for running our fridges and that. Apparently they're the lithium, they're not a stable chemistry, and they're the ones that are bursting into flames. So if you've got those electric bikes, be bloody careful of them when you're charging them up overnight. Flaming heck. I wouldn't be real keen on having one of those in my house or shed at the moment. Steve, you've got one. Be careful of it, mate, because I've heard quite a few stories of electric bikes going up in flames. And when they go up, guys. They really do. Anyway, tomorrow, the BT50. Brad Howell was going to do this for us, guys, when we got down. I want to get it done now because I'm at 41. Yeah, no, I want to get the diff oils. I was going to do them myself. I think it'd be cheaper just to get the mechanic to do it. Well, I went and priced all the oils up, the different. It's not just one oil like the old Land Rover. It's about 4 different things you got to put in under the BT. And when I added the cost up, like, it's going to be cheaper just to go and get the mechanic to do it. So that's what's happening tomorrow. He's going to do the rear diff, front diff, transfer case, and gearbox. And he's all, I've got a rattly bloody 5th gear, which is some grub screws or whatever. So he's going to look at trying to, when I go to 5th, it vibrates. It only does it in 5th gear, and it's something to do with a grub screw, or he seems to know what the problem will be anyway. So I'll get that fixed up. And then on Tuesday, it is going up to LG Automotive and Tune in Cairns. I'm going up to Cairns about 6 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday morning, dropping the BT50 off, and they're doing a manifold intake clean on it. They're not pulling the engine apart. They've got this system where they run it for about 2.5 hours, and I must put a white spirit or something through, and it just dissolves everything in there and blows it out. And then he's doing a tune up on it, guys. And what do they call it? Just a tune up for torque and fuel economy. And he said, mate, I've got a Ranger. I've done it to that, a 2014 Ranger. He said, unbelievable when you do he said, I can do the intake clean where you pull the whole thing apart and sit there scrubbing. And they said the onboard way we do it, they just run some solution through for about 2.5, 3 hours, and it just dissolves all the gunk in that. He said it'll free your engine will breathe a lot better. And then he said we'll tune it up for torque and fuel economy. He said you will notice a huge difference when you're towing, mate, because the BT is gutless uphill towing, guys. It shouldn't be that gutless. I reckon it's clogged up with soot and all that type of stuff. So we'll let you know what it's like anyway. I'm hoping it makes a difference, because for a 3.2 litre turbo diesel 5-cylinder, it should have more get up and go than what it's got. I reckon she's a bit clogged up. Remap, yeah, that's the one, mate. Remap. I've been going to do a remap for years, and I've always, don't tinker with the engine, don't tinker with the engine. And he said, mate, if you're towing a van, he said, we'll remap it and we'll tow it and give you a lot more torque for towing and all that. He said, we don't give you extra power on that. He said it'll be remapped and tuned for towing and to give you good fuel economy when you're not towing. So, but he said, soot, yeah, exactly. So we'll be flushing all that shit out of it, Mark. Hopefully, about 2.5 hours to just flush this solution through, and all that grime build up and all that, it just flushes all that out. He said your engine will breathe a lot better. And I think that's what's wrong with it. You can just, because I don't run a catch can, everyone. Catch cans. Yeah, Pete, but you speak to other people and there's people taking catch cans off their vehicle. So there you go, mate. Like I've seen other people say, don't get a catch can. Don't get a catch can. I don't know. I've got room for a catch can, mate. There is just no room under that bonnet to do anything, mate. I've got a fuel filter. There's no room for a catch can, mate. It's just so. Remember the old XY Falcons and that? You look through, you could see all the ground. You just had an engine, and then there was just all. You could see the ground. There was so much room in there, and now they just put so much shit in the engines. You can't even get your hands in there. I don't know how mechanics work on engines these days. It's ridiculous. So no, I'm not putting a catch can on, mate. It's done 240. If I was going to do it, I would have done it bloody years ago. Engine carbon build-up, I'd be adding a catch can. Yeah, I know. Everyone bangs on about catch cans. Why don't they put catch cans on? Why don't diesels come with a catch can if they're that important, guys? Can anyone answer that? Why don't they put a catch can on diesels to start with? If that's everyone goes catch can. I don't know. And I've seen a few comments lately where people are removing their catch cans. So I don't know. Catch cans are 50-50. They're good, but also lead to other issues. There you go. And worse issues. I know that's I'm skeptical about even doing a remap on my engine, but it's done 240, guys. Brad Howell said, get your EGR cooler looked at. If you can get to it to look at it, I'll get him to do that, Brad. The EGR cooler, when they do the remap, yes, I will get that checked out. But the car's running really good, guys. It's just lacking a bit of power, and I think she's a bit clogged up. And when you look at intake manifolds, they get all the soot and bloody grime and all that type of stuff. So she's going to get a good flush out and a tune-up. So hopefully that'll help her out. I'll give you an update on that. Anyway, I'm going to go before the power goes out, everyone. I've got a few things. Going to start tinkering on the BT50 today, the drawers, start having to think about what camping gear I've got to take and all that. Bit different when you're planning for a camping trip where you're not taking the caravan. So I've got to have a think about what camp ovens I'm taking, what I'm leaving behind, what I'm taking, all that type of stuff. So anyway, so yeah, catch cans, yes or no? A lot of people say yes, but I've seen a few things lately where people are removing them and mechanics are saying don't put them on. I don't know. Who do you believe? Why don't they put them on from standard? Why don't diesel engines come with a catch can? Can anyone answer that? Brad Howell said costs. They're not that expensive, are they, in the scheme of things? Why don't they put some sort of catch can system on a diesel engine out of the factory? There must be a reason they don't do it. Anyway, gets you thinking, doesn't it? Catch you later, everyone. If you haven't seen me pumpkin and cheese damper clip, go and watch that one. It turned out really good, and they're bloody nice. 3 cups of self-raising flour, pinch of salt, big can of creamy pumpkin soup, and a handful of cheese. If it's a bit dry, a little bit of water just to get the right consistency. Don't need it too much, guys. Just bring it together, put her in the oven for 20, 25 minutes or whatever, and you'll have a beautiful damper. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, everyone. Catch you later, eh? Might see you. No, you won't see me next Sunday. I'll either be on the road or getting ready to go on the road. So there'll be no live feed next week, everyone. See you later. Bye.